When we think of the heroes, we tend to think of superheroes in movies.
That's the best you can do!
Or even in real life, from people lifting cars off of others, to rushing inside a building engulfed in flames to save a stranded person. Valor never fails to impress us and even warms our hearts. While such actions restore our faith in humanity, it becomes even more epic when the real-life hero turns out to not even be human. Today we will share with you 10 unbelievable animals that saved people's lives. Welcome to Upside, where we have fun facts for curious minds. To enjoy more of these videos, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. First unbelievable animal on our list, Mila the beluga whale. Beluga whales are one of the few species of whales still kept in captivity in aquariums and water parks. They are a major attraction for these places as visitors rush to observe the sea giants. And everyone knows that working as a trainer with the whales can be a dangerous business. But that is not the case with Mila.
No, I know you're talking about me.
And I will share with you her story. For someone to be a whale trainer, that person needs to pass a test. The test requires that divers using no equipment submerge in a tank more than 20 feet deep among the whales. 26-year-old Yang Yun, an aspiring whale trainer, participated in that diving test. She was well aware of the risk of what she was getting into. Well, at first, everything seemed to be going well until Yun felt her leg cramping up. You know how most people say that animals have a sixth sense because they innately know if something is wrong? Well, Mila must have had that intuition because she came out of nowhere to rescue Yang. She grabbed her leg with her jawbone and carefully brought her back to the surface so that she could breathe. Officials judging the competition watched in amazement as the motionless body began moving upward. One of the officials commented afterward that Mila was a very sensitive animal who was used to working with humans. If it hadn't been for the brave whale, the young diver would have probably drowned. Regardless of whether it was instinct or kindness, once Yang was safely on dry land, it was finally time to say that she really had one whale of a time and a truly uplifting experience. Let us continue with Dory the Rabbit. Due to this little helper, his diabetic owner received help just in time.
Look out, look out, look out, look out, hero.
Mr. Simon Stiegel was watching TV with his wife one day when he suddenly lost consciousness. Simon, aged 42, who hails from Cambridgeshire, England, has been a diabetic since childhood, having to inject insulin 4 times daily. He had no warning that he was about to become dangerously ill. His wife thought he was just asleep, even though Mrs. Stiegel is an ambulance driver trained to take quick, life-saving action. It was Simon's rabbit, Dory, who came to his rescue. Stiegel stated, "The rabbit came up on my lap and started tapping and digging at my chest and looking at my face. That caught my wife Victoria's attention and she knew something was wrong." Victoria noticed the odd behavior and called for emergency assistance when she couldn't rouse him herself. When Simon's wife told their doctor about what had transpired, he was very surprised. He remarked that he had heard of cats and dogs often acting in such a fashion, but never a rabbit. Simon and Victoria are grateful every day for Dory's actions, although she is still not allowed under furniture. Khan the Doberman at number 8. In 2007, a Doberman pinscher named Khan was rescued from an animal shelter. If you're familiar with rescued animals, normally they need time to adapt to the new environment and be comfortable with their new home. But what's interesting is that Khan had only been a member of his new family for a few days when he saved the life of their toddler, Charlotte. While watching the two play in their yard, her mother, Catherine, was beyond shocked to see the dog acting aggressively toward the kid, and was even more appalled when he picked her up by her diaper and tossed her behind him. Well, what happened was, Khan had spotted a big brown snake, the world's 3rd most venomous snake, and he was trying to nudge her to safety. At first, the brave dog tried to push the baby away. But when he realized it wasn't working, Khan threw little Charlotte far away from the deadly snake. The girl was safe, but the poor Doberman was bitten. After being bitten, Khan ran inside and collapsed. The family immediately provided him a shot of anti-venom by a vet. Luckily, he managed to survive and ate a large breakfast the next day as a reward for being such a good boy. Catherine said that the family was incredibly moved by Khan's selfless and protective act. Back before the family adopted the dog, he had been starving, had broken ribs, and had been beaten. The dog must have been so grateful to his new owners that he risked his own life to save their new child. At number 7. Ning Nong the elephant. On December 26, 2004, a devastating tsunami hit coastal areas all over the Indian Ocean. More than 230,000 people in 14 countries lost their lives that day. Many stories of tragedy and survival arose in the days afterward, and one of those tales of survival was that of one little girl and the elephant that saved her life. While vacationing in Phuket, Thailand, with her family in 2005, 8-year-old Amber Mason became best friends with a 4-year-old elephant. One day, while she was riding on the big guy's back, everything seemed fine until the elephant started moving back from the sea. The girl noticed a huge wave approaching. She was shocked and very scared, while Ning Nong ran with her as far away as possible from the deadly sea.
DANGER shortcut.
When the wave arrived, he stood still and braced himself, saving Amber's life. Amber's mother, Samantha, and stepfather, Eddie, were not on the beach when the tsunami hit. They were alerted to the disaster when they heard screaming. Samantha went running out into the street to search for her daughter. She herself was screaming as she asked people where the elephant was. Someone told her that the elephant was dead, and she started to panic since she knew that Amber would have been on his back. Even though she was in water up to her knees, she tried to run along the beach. And just then, Samantha saw Ning Nong at the far end of the beach with Amber still on his back. When Amber waved at her, she was grateful to find her unscathed. The family is so grateful to the elephant for saving Amber's life that they still send 30 euros each month to Thailand to help with Ning Nong's upkeep. The elephant's bravery was so outstanding that it inspired Michael Morpurgo, a famous British writer, to write a play about what happened entitled Running Wild. Willie the Quaker Parrot, worthy to be part of our list at number 6. Usually, people adopt parrots just for their amusement because of how parrots can mimic human speech. However, this time the words one parrot said were crucial in saving someone's life. Megan has a Quaker parrot named Willie, a fun, loving, and highly intelligent critter who is very entertaining and talkative. He knows more than a few words and can mimic the sounds of other animals such as dogs, cats, chickens, and even humans kissing. He even knows how to whistle the Andy Griffith Show theme song. Willie the parrot was eating breakfast with his family when suddenly Hannah, his owner's child, started choking on her food. Having stepped away to use the bathroom for a moment, Megan suddenly heard the bird screeching, "Mama, baby, mama, baby," 2 words she had never heard him put together before. She immediately walked out of the bathroom and saw Hannah with a blue face. Megan grabbed her and immediately started doing the Heimlich maneuver until the piece came flying out. The first aid was right on time as the girl was already in critical condition. Immediately afterwards, the bird quieted down and everything was fine. Courageous Willie was honored with the Animal Lifesaver Award by the Red Cross, and he is now the family's ultimate hero. At number 5, Lulu the Vietnamese Pig. According to some experts, pigs are perhaps the smartest domestic animals known, more so than cats and dogs. In 1997, when Joanne Altsman agreed to look after her daughter's pot-bellied pig, it turned out to be Lulu the pig who ended up looking after her instead. Joanne Altsman suffered a heart attack while vacationing in the North Woods of Pennsylvania. Joanne was struck down in her camper and desperately needed help. Unfortunately, Joanne's husband Jack was on a fishing trip and the only other individual around was the Vietnamese pig. Their only dog, an American Eskimo named Bear, barked repeatedly, but Lulu must have realized it was not enough and decided to act. The pig, seeing her mistress twisting in pain on the ground, managed to squeeze herself out through the door, suffering some cuts on her tummy. She did not hesitate to block traffic by lying down on the road, trying to alert someone so they could help her mistress. She made her way to the road and plopped down as if playing dead. When a driver stopped, concerned about the pig's wounds, Lulu led him back to the trailer. Arriving at the trailer, he saw Joanne in distress and dialed 911. Joanne was taken to the medical center for open heart surgery. She was lucky to be in the company of Lulu because without her, she would not have lived. Lulu received the coveted Tiffany Gold Heroes Medal from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Another animal that is worthy to be part of this list, Jambo the Gorilla. One of the best-known instances of animal heroism occurred on August 31, 1986. A 5-year-old boy named Levin Merritt lost consciousness after falling into the gorilla enclosure at the Jersey Zoo, located on the island of Jersey in the English Channel. After Levin fell into his pen, Jambo immediately came to his rescue, caressing his back as if to tell him that everything will be fine. He did not only move by his side to protect him from the aggressiveness of his fellow companions, but when the little boy woke up and began to cry, Jambo led the other apes away to allow the rescuers to step in. While Levin recovered from his injuries, the remarkable video footage of the incident reached international attention overnight, thus not only becoming a story of a gorilla saving a human child, but one in which public perception of the species as a whole changed forever for the better. And the animal that got our third spot, Toby, the Dr. Golden Retriever. We all know that Golden Retrievers are one of the smartest dog breeds in the world.
Sit, boy. Hey, look, he's trained. Shake.
Debbie and her husband rescued Toby from a trash can a couple of years ago. If you are wondering why this Golden Retriever is called a doctor, you'll be surprised. Toby had never studied medicine. However, he managed to perform the Heimlich maneuver to save his human's life. Debbie Parkhurst was enjoying an apple snack one afternoon when she suddenly began choking on a piece of apple stuck in her throat. Alone in her home, she attempted to perform the Heimlich maneuver on herself, but it was not successful. Toby saw his owner in distress and got involved. The dog jumped into action high up on his hind legs with his front paws on her shoulders. He pushed her to the ground on her back and then jumped up and down on her chest until the piece of apple became dislodged. To keep her conscious, the hero kept licking her face. Though she did suffer some paw-shaped bruises from his force, she's more than happy that Toby was around in her time of need. Requests for interviews with this famous lifesaver and his human came from as far away as news outlets in Great Britain and Sweden, as well as the Today Show, Good Morning America, and The Late Show. Though Toby has no idea about why he is getting all this attention today, I'm pretty sure he is happy. At number 2, Mandy the Goat with Mandy the Dog. You never know when something bad is going to happen, and when it does, you hope that you have friends who are going to be there for you. In 2002, 78-year-old Australian farmer Noel Osborne slipped on manure while attending to his animals outside. He suffered a broken hip and became unable to move for the next 5 days. While waiting for someone to rescue him, immobilized and way too far away for anyone to hear his calls for help, his goat, Mandy, took care of him for 5 whole days. Osborne had managed to find a container, and the goat was patient enough to allow him to get enough milk to keep himself fed and hydrated. During the 5 days that he lay there without human help, Mandy the Goat and a dog who is also named Mandy watched over him, kept him company, and warmed him. Some human friends eventually stopped by and they discovered Osborne indisposed in the pile of manure. Unable to move him, they called an ambulance. The old man recovered completely from his ordeal and credits his animals with saving his life, particularly the goat. And the most unbelievable animal that saved someone's life, Chi the Chihuahua. At 13 pounds, Chi the Chihuahua might be most at home in a handbag. Mary and her husband Rick were relaxing on the beach one afternoon while on vacation in North Carolina's Outer Banks. As usual, Chi was lying on his blanket in his own little beach chair. The dog suddenly began barking in a way his humans had never heard before. There was nothing wrong with Chi, but there was danger some 100 yards down the beach, where Mary Lane spotted a horrific sight. At first, they were confused as the dog dragged his chair, which he was leashed to, toward the waves, and then they saw it. 2 elderly women were in danger of being swept away by an impending riptide. The Lanes rushed across the sand and into the surf. Rick waited to the woman in danger of drowning, while Mary held fast to the other one and pulled her up on the beach. After determining that the pair were shaken but otherwise fine, the couple returned to their spot on the beach to find Chi happily sleeping in his chair.
I would be most honored.
Chi was rescued as an abused dog by the Lane's niece, when he was just a pup. Now he's a local celebrity in the Lane's native Greensboro, with newspaper coverage and his image posted in his veterinarian's office. I know your heart is giddy hearing these wonderful stories. Out of all these amazing and unbelievable animals, which do you like the most and why? Let me know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. And for all you Upsiders who want more Upside videos, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you find this video really shocking, I know you'll be interested in watching our video on 15 unbelievable moments caught on film. See you next time.